G'day folks, it's Jimmy from the Hard Rock Show here again, and today we're going to do another review, of course, and we're going to talk about the band Soulfly with the legendary Max Cavalera in this band, of course. New album called Ritual. Let's go. Okay, so yes, Soulfly have released their new album, which is called Ritual. It's out on Nuclear Blast Records. It's 10 songs and 43 minutes. It's available on all your streaming platforms and record stores all over the world. Now, I was a huge Sepultura fan in my teenage years. I absolutely loved that band right up until Max left. They were incredible. Sadly now, they're terrible. But anyway, when Max left, I gave up on Sepultura, I must admit, and even more so when Igor left. I just thought, that's it, band's dead. To be honest, I never bothered with Soulfly. I've never really had to listen to much of their stuff. Everything I've heard so far, just, I don't know, for some reason it never really grabbed me. So I did approach this album with not a lot of hope, but boy am I wrong. This is fantastic. Let's take a look at some music now.
Under the blaze of the midnight sun, during destruction, forward we go. Expose the pain, now you reap what you sow. Plague and storms.
Now the title track, Ritual, it sounds like something off Roots from Sepultura. It really does. It's got the chanting and all the different kinds of instruments that Sepultura used to use in their music. So my ears really pricked up when I heard that song. And then Dead Behind the Eyes starts up, and all of a sudden I've got Randy Blythe from Lamb of God screaming and yelling at me in my head. And Randy's one of my faves. So, you know, I'm loving this album straight away. 2 songs in, I'm into it. This album is heavy as hell. Max is screaming and yelling his guts out, and he sounds energized, and he sounds angry, and he sounds desperate, and it's exactly what I want to hear from Max Cavalera. It's so good to have him sounding the way he does on this album. I have to mention Xylon Cavalera on drums. Now, he's Max's son. He's 25 years old now, which blew me away, because I remember when I was into Sepultura and he was born, and all of a sudden he's an adult now and playing drums, and he is a demon on this album. The drums are fantastic. I hear a big Igor Cavalera influence on his playing. Fantastic drummer. Geez, he's got a big future. Let's check out some more music now.
Walk on fire, holy, mystic aura. Cenobites, I know you're kind. Get behind the eyes.
This is the most old school Sepultura sounding thing that I've heard from Max Cavalera since he left the band. So it's obviously a different band, Soulfly, but it's got an old school Sepultura feel to it. So if you're into the early Sepultura days, you know, from the start right through to Roots, I would suggest that you check this out, because I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. The production is fantastic. It's clear, it's dynamic, it's really, really heavy. There's a big tribal influence on this album, so that is back in Max's musical vocabulary, if you like. There's so much variation and different feels and grooves right through the whole album, and there's a good dose of punk in there as well. Some head-crushing riffs. There's a saxophone as well. There's a beautiful acoustic piece to finish the album off. I've heard people say it sounds a bit like Metallica's song 1 or one of those big Metallica hits, but kind of does a bit, but I don't care. It sounds great. Let's check some more music out now. So yes, in my opinion on this album, Max Cavalera is back. Simple as that. Maybe I need to go back and check out some earlier Soulfly stuff, because if it's anything like this, then I'm going to love it. But from what I've heard from people around the traps, this is a bit of a change up for Soulfly. So maybe that's a good thing. Look, I'm giving this album a 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely love it. The only thing I want to say is everyone that's been talking about the Alien Weaponry album, which came out earlier this year, and the Sepultura influence on that album. I think the Alien Weaponry album is a fine album. I love it. And they've got a huge future, of course. But grab this album and see how a legend does it, because this is the real shit. This is the good shit. And like I said, I love the Alien Weaponry album, but man, this has blown me away. 9.5 out of 10. I love it. Soulfly, Ritual, get on it. More reviews coming. See you soon.
Speak.